My parents wanted to gamble with my autistic sister's life, so I dealt them a losing hand. The first time I really understood something was wrong with my family was the day I found my sister Lacey sitting in the dark, sorting her colored pencils by length while tears streamed down her face. She was 11 and had just finished another one of her correction sessions with my parents. During these, they'd bang pots and pans around her ears, even when it clearly caused her physical pain. She'd wet herself from the sound, and they'd made her clean it up alone as a punishment. That night, I made a decision that would define the next 4 years of our lives. I started documenting everything, every harsh word, every punishment for stimming, every meal she missed because she couldn't sit properly at the table. The secret diagnosis was easier than I expected. I forged our parents' signatures, created fake email accounts, and found a therapist 2 towns over who'd see Lacey pro bono. 3 months later, we had it official. Autism spectrum disorder, level 2. Moderate support needs. That's how it started. I remember thinking I was getting close to getting her the help she needed, until the literal first Monday post-diagnosis. Everything shattered. I came home early from work with a migraine, and saw a car I didn't recognize in our driveway. Expensive, out-of-state plates. Through the living room window, I watched my parents with a well-dressed couple. Lacey was there too, walking back and forth in perfectly straight lines, answering questions in the flat voice she only used when scared. The woman was filming everything on her phone. The man kept examining Lacey like she was a show dog, checking her teeth, having her hold out her hands and cough, commenting on her physical health. My mother had laid out documents on the coffee table. I pretended not to see them, and later that night, I asked her what that was all about. "They're taking me, but I don't know when," was the only word she could get out. She started crying, then took out her tablet, one I didn't even know she had, and proceeded to show me weeks of recorded conversations. It was our parents discussing debt, medical bills, a second mortgage they'd hidden. Then, dated 6 weeks ago, a conversation that made my stomach drop. They'd found this couple through a church friend, people who couldn't have children but wanted the government benefits that came with a disabled child. No official adoption, no home studies, just a forged power of attorney and cash under the table. I helped Lacey pack essentials while texting furiously, trying to find somewhere safe we could go. The next morning, I cornered my parents at breakfast. Lacey was still asleep. I'd made sure of that. I slammed the photos I'd taken through the window on the table. My father's coffee mug crashed to the floor. My mother went pale. They scrambled for excuses at first. The couple were old friends. They were discussing Lacey's future care, just planning ahead. But I had the recordings from Lacey's tablet, their own words damning them. My father's hands shook as he finally stopped lying. He pulled up his sleeve, medical bracelet. His skin was gray, hanging loose on his frame. The kitchen filled with a heavy silence as my mother retrieved a folder from the cabinet. Medical bills, oncology reports, treatment plans, stage 3 pancreatic cancer. The numbers were staggering. Money for chemo was 6 figures and climbing. There were liquidated retirement accounts. All the money was gone. They showed me rejection letters from assistance programs, maxed credit cards, final notices. Cancer. "We're selling her because your father has cancer. We're saving his life," my mother said flatly. They actually expected me to feel sorry for them, but I didn't. I took one look at them. "You both are cancer," I responded. My mother flinched like I'd slapped her. My father stared at the broken mug on the floor. $50,000. That's what they'd negotiated for their daughter. Like she was just currency to be exchanged for more time. I spent the next 3 days planning. I called in sick to work. I researched legal options, packed emergency bags. But on the 4th day, everything changed. I was searching for Lacey's birth certificate in my parents' room when I found it. An envelope hidden under my father's sock drawer. Inside were insurance documents, current ones, active ones, comprehensive health coverage that had cancer treatment included, deductible already met. My dad could have had his cancer covered with insurance, but the claims forms were never filed. My hands shook as I kept digging. That's when I found bank statements going back 2 years. There were cash withdrawals starting right after the diagnosis. 50,000, 70,000, 100,000. The dates matched when they claimed to be paying for treatment, but no payments to any hospital. That night, I waited until they were asleep and searched their computers. The browser history told the whole story. DraftKings, FanDuel, online poker sites, casino reward programs, sports betting apps, hundreds of transactions. They'd had insurance the whole time. Everything would have been covered, but they gambled it all away, chasing some miracle jackpot, thinking they could triple the money for better treatments, experimental cures. And when they lost everything, they decided to sell their daughter. Full story on channel, linked below.